Our guest today on Caribbeana is Ambassador Tarlie Francis. He's the permanent representative of Grenada to the OAS and ambassador to the United States. Ambassador, welcome and a happy independence to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. And, the happy independence, when I receive it, I have a tendency to reciprocate and say, and you too. Because so many of us, Grenada is at our heart. And
Right, right.
I know you're among those who, especially when we're in a time of need last year, you were front and center assisting us with mobilizing the energies and the resources to be able
Exactly.
to assist our brothers and sisters down in the homeland.
Yes, definitely.
Yes, yes.
Oh, yeah.
So thank you very much. Happy anniversary is the 51st anniversary.
Right,
To
right.
all your listeners who are Grenadians, friends of Grenadians, well wishers, we say happy anniversary to you as well.
All right. Well, tell us. I mean, I've known, and I have been a part of the story of Grenada for such a long time.
Yes.
Um, as you look back, and how would you characterize the state of the country now? Today, a new prime minister, young fellow, everybody young and youthful, and so on. And it seems to like I remembered last year's 50th anniversary. It's
Mhm.
a young, vibrant country. Give
Yes.
us a sense of the state of the island.
Right. So, in the context in which you put it, what we feeling today is a movement from where our foreparents, our forefathers who gained independence for Grenada in 1974, where they have built the foundation, what they have done to create this sense of democracy, this sense of hope, this sense of resilience that our people would want to use always to move forward in times when it is tough and to enjoy in times when it is good, in the fiestas as well as in the, say, the funerals or the post hurricane, post disaster period. We
Right.
are a people of one spirit. Now this spirit is one that builds on that foundation that our parents left, and it is, as the prime minister says, building towards the aspirations of the youth. So where are we today now that we turned 50 and celebrated in a big way last year,
Yes.
and we going forward this year?
Yes.
Well, this year the theme tells where we are. The themes of this year's independence, the 51st anniversary of independence for Grenada, is the next 50, embracing a future of development, transformation, and unity.
Yes.
This sort of encapsulates where we are.
Right, 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 man.
A future because we know we are coming from
Right.
that which we have just celebrated 50 years of trying to build to be in the modern worlds, as a place and location, as
Right,
a modern society.
right, right.
The future because as we go forward, we don't want to go forward being the same as we were.
Yes.
We want to go forward being better.
Right,
And so
right.
development of physical infrastructure, development of our country that it is easy to move around, it's easy to live in, and development of our people
Yes.
so that we build a people who are living a life that is dignified, that has food security, that has protection for social injustice or against social injustice,
Yes.
and that has the dreams and the aspirations of our youth well inside the
Yes.
transformative things that we do today.
Right.
And this is the state of the government. In fact, that government that came in 2022 says it's a transformation agenda that it is working on and asking our people to carry ourselves into the future with that transformative agenda. Know what that means? A lot of, it means, for example, we transform our health sector from
Right.
one where you never know what's going to happen, and you have a few doctors overworked and nurses overworked to get our health situation together,
Mhm.
into a future where we have a modern hospital and a modern health system,
Yeah.
both from the administrative point of view and from the point of view of delivery of service,
Right.
where our health system for our people is not just to get better, but
Right.
to prevent illnesses.
Right. Right.
So transformative in that sense, that
Yeah.
our people also build and our young people build new capacities, new learning,
Right.
That
Yeah.
we're not just looking at agriculture, or health. We're looking at the bringing in technology, bringing in, science, the know-how,
Right.
and so transformation into what we use for energy. Yeah, fossil fuel and all this sort of thing. We are big on climate change, so we transform. We use renewable energy,
Right. Right. Right.
solar, much into solar and so forth.
Yeah.
And the unity part of our thinking is that there is no success in repeated division for
Right.
division's sake.
Yeah.
No matter, you can have differences of opinion, even different political parties and so on, but for the forward movement of our people, we ought to go forward united.
Right. Right. I observe that there's an attempt and an attitude to empower Grenadians to engage with and drive environmental governance.
Yes.
Could you explain that a little more for us?
Well, like I said, we had two brushes with that in the past, that we understand that when the people are involved, the successes are great. On the way towards independence, who we call the father of independence, Sir Eric Matthew Gary,
Right.
he galvanized the people into a population that wanted to fend for itself, wanted no longer to be colonized and living the colonial life,
Right.
where we just put our hands out and we receive from
Right.
the plantation owners, and we receive from the bureaucracy that was left to us
Yes.
from the Great Britain, the colonizer.
Yeah.
And he brought us all the way into independence in 74.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Then we had, and in those days, I mean, the involvement of the population was key. That's why he was such a popular political leader,
Yeah.
because he gave people opportunity to be part of what was being built and delivered as a country coming out of colonialism, and he gave people wealth, some form of wealth. Okay, he did it in his own way, and politics being what it is, there should always be changes. And we got into the period when Maurice Bishop and his team experimented with people's democracy.
Democracy. Right.
This is a situation and a time in the country's experience when even the national budget was discussed in villages and communities
Yes. Yes.
before it was passed in Parliament.
Yes.
It is a period in which the Center for Popular Education was created, and persons who were up to then illiterate, even adult population, functionally illiterate, were brought back to schools in the community centers, and we built on education so that we can be better ready for an independent country's forward movement.
Right. Right.
Well, today, Vaughn, what is really happening is the people are being empowered in these two levels. On the one hand, empowered in the decision making. So virtually every single law that is changed or passed is brought to the people for discussion.
Yeah.
Every single project is brought to the people so that they understand and they have an input. Now, when I tell you the people, I don't mean into the trade union, into the lawyers association, and so forth, into the, town hall meetings, and you can come and we go deep into the night, and this is where not just the technocrats, but the party political leaders and so on are present to hear and to listen, and on the other hand, so there's that involvement of the people from that practical point of view. And the people are coming out to do, their cleanup after certain situations, and even now in preparation for independence, the beautification of the country is not being done by salaried workers; it's being done by the people involved, alongside those who get paid to do the main thing. Well, along with that, there is empowerment. The young Prime Minister keep insisting and explaining so that we take it on board that the youth of today really is the engine. They are really the driving force for tomorrow. And in today's world where it is so digital, where cyberspace is so present, there is little progress you can make if you do not have your population grow in the digital space. If our young people do not learn not just mathematics, English language, history, and so, but
Yeah.
also learn so that they can participate in the new world, in the digital community,
Right.
in a way in which Grenada has educated persons who can sit in Grenada and work abroad, in a way in which business enterprises abroad can actually, even the US can come into Grenada and know that there is a workforce that is capable, that is capable of programming, capable of work in the cyberspace, that we have that level of growth and development in our population that is ready for the new world,
Right.
the digital world. So
Right.
that empowerment is both, as I say, in developing the human capital,
Right.
and at the same time in giving everyone a voice to be present in the decision making.
Right. Well, that's very beautiful. I mean, and I really appreciate it.
Not that it's easy, of course, because
Yeah.
because one of the most critical program that is being worked on now, apart from health,
Yeah.
is housing.
Yes.
The housing stock in Grenada needs to expand in a way that helps us to be able to walk into a community and no longer see signs of poverty in the domiciles, in the housing, and the type of sanitation, sanitary facilities,
Right.
in the portable water available to each house, physical house, and each household
Yes.
in a community. So those are the areas that also require empowerment of the people, because a person who doesn't get the feel of
Yeah.
development
Yeah.
in their daily lives is a person who has not benefited from whatever independence you say you have.
Right. Right. Well, from the advancement that you have reflected upon with us, is that you can see that it all comes from a young mind,
Yes.
young, diligent mind, thinking, taking what has happened in the past,
Yes.
utilizing a product for the future.
Yes.
But
Yes.
what is also beautiful about Grenada, it's cultural realities. I just realized that Carriacou and Petit Martinique is
Mm-hmm.
now on the cultural map of the world.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes. Yes.
how, tell us that attribution.
You see, Karaku has been able to retain a number of traditional values, cultural expressions, and practices that are just really mind blowing in terms of the way they fit into our future world, even
Right,
that digital world.
right.
Take, for example, on this question of climate resilience, climate change, and so on,
Yes,
and water security. Karaku is a place in Grenada and Petit Martinique where traditionally the water capture, rainwater capture,
uh-huh,
in its purest sense, has happened forever. So the water is captured by each house running off the roof into the tanks that we call up there the cisterns.
right.
So these are concrete tanks built into the
Yeah,
ground,
yeah.
the crust of the ground, or part beneath the ground and part
The
above.
top right, right.
The skill of doing this and it doesn't crack and it doesn't leak and so on is an expertise that is there in Karaku and has been there forever.
Yeah,
Today, facing climate change, where drought is such a reality, even before Hurricane Beryl, we were suffering and experiencing drought
right, right.
in the country and in the OECS in general. And Karaku is a place where persons could still go in and have drinking water, have water, which is
Yeah,
from the capture of so that is an example.
yeah,
The boat building tradition that there is in Karaku, you find in few places in the world.
yeah, yeah.
This is a small island where you have relation with places like Grenville and Grenada and so, but this is where you can find the boat building knowledge and expertise
Yeah.
from different materials, including
Right.
starting from scratch and ending up with a vessel,
Yeah, yeah,
even a schooner
yeah.
that is
Right,
ready to take flag and sail. That's
right.
an example. And
Yeah,
in culture, you mentioned culture, which is so very important.
yes.
There are two things that are so the Shakespeare Mass. This is this is one of the rarity in our region. That thing has been preserved, and you go to Karakou and the Shakespeare Mass. I mean, the
Yeah,
recital of Shakespeare verses, the use of the whip, the methodology in
yeah,
which
man,
it is
yeah,
done was preserved, and it's like the oral tradition was able to bring it down, and it is preserved by the youth who have been able to come in and to document what it is that we speak about when we speak of that. And of course, the pecan and the parang, which
Right,
happens every
right.
Christmas, and so on. we have the islands, all the three islands now,
Yeah,
marrying into it, and of course, we have the relation with Trinidad. But parang, my friend, in Carriacou, you find any family that doesn't have a cantor,
yeah,
as you call it professionally, So that's what Carriacou is, and that's why what you find is now we are in 2000, we're in 2025.
yeah.
In 2024, July, August, this place was destroyed
Yes,
very quickly, perhaps faster than we were able to do even after Ivan. True, we have a new dispensation, we have a new situation, the world is more advanced, we have greater solidarity
right,
around the world, and our diaspora is far more dynamic now than it was in 2024.
right.
But the Carriacou people, you go there and their level of resilience displayed, the way in which they have been able to commence bouncing back,
Yes, yes.
is what puts that people
Yeah, yeah.
part of the Grenadian reality, the Grenadian fabric, human fabric,
Right,
cultural fabric,
right,
historical fabric,
right.
back in on the map.
Yeah, yeah. I remember visiting Grenada, man, and going to Carriacou. I had to go over Kickham Jenny,
Ah, yes.
and nobody prepared me for that, man.
Yes,
And
Kikam Jenny, this
I
is.
tell people they got to experience that.
I want to ask you, did you get seasick? Was it rough enough for you to feel seasick?
And the joke is I had just eaten,
Oh
and
my
got me on the
goodness.
boat, man.
I
And
just listening to
Lord.
you, happy to you, my friend. Because we would have used boat in the past, vessels that they now use mainly for cargo,
Right.
which used to take 4.5 to 5 hours from St. George's, the
Yeah.
Carenage, into Hillsborough.
Yeah.
And you will spend I mean a good 30, 45 minutes, sometimes an hour when it's really rough,
Yeah. Yeah.
over Kikamjini. And I mean,
Yeah.
when that latent volcano, we always have to explain it's an undersea volcano. And sometimes we say it's latent, is inactive, but anyone who would have traveled that course that you did
Yeah.
would say, boy, if it's inactive, I mean, I wouldn't like to see, because it really is, it's undersea,
Yeah.
and to the extent that it is there, it causes the thing to move. It's active. It's just that it's not like erupting,
Eruptive, right,
and it
right.
has not done so. Thank God, and we pray that it doesn't.
Yeah. Well,
Yes,
finally, we couldn't go without have a discussion without talking about Kirani James and
Kirani,
sport
oh, our
and
hero.
the business of athletics and so on.
Yes,
I
yes.
mean, give us a sense of that, the sentiment of that. The,
Dr. Kirani James. He is King Kirani James. King Kirani.
yeah,
We cannot do enough to really celebrate and to say how much we appreciate that young man. He has not only the accolades of a good athlete,
yeah,
of a great
yes, yes,
sprinter,
that,
but he is a person who reflects the best of Grenada, of the Grenadian people.
yeah,
He is very humble. He is very personable. He's also very thoughtful. He was showing that in a real way as a competitor on the tracks in the Olympics for the world to see.
yes, yes, yes,
And for each step that he takes, he carries us along with him.
mm,
And to be this young man who now grows into an ambassador. I'm talking to you and you saying, Mr. Ambassador. The real ambassadors of Grenada are Kirani James and the persons like him,
yes,
including a lot of the members of our diaspora community
yes,
here in the DMV and elsewhere,
yeah,
who do human service to integrate into these societies, the developed societies, and at the same time always remember where they're from
right,
and
right,
give back in one way or another. Yes, King Kirani is indeed a person who is helping to grow in our people the confidence and the hope that tomorrow will always be better.
yes, yeah,
Tomorrow will always be better. In the area, we'll be having some celebrations during this independence period. Last year we celebrated the entire year because it was the 50th, which was a big deal. And we take that momentum into this year, 2025, as well. And so we'll be celebrating independence during as many months as we can and over several activities. And right throughout the US. Here, we will be having an independence church service of Thanksgiving
Right.
and praise to our God who has brought us along this way. And this would be at the St. John's Episcopal Church out there in Beltsville. Right. It's at 10 o'clock in the morning. And we would immediately after that church service have some fellowship, a little brunch, so we invite all Grenadians and the friends of Grenada to come out there for that celebration. That is Sunday, the 9th of February. It's a Super Bowl Sunday, but we do it in the morning.
Right.
We do the reception as a luncheon immediately after. Right. So we give everybody time to, go home and do the
Super Bowl.
and do the Super Bowl, and as I said, the theme for this year is the next 50, embracing a future of development, transformation, and unity. And we have to say thanks, but at the same time, we have to look forward and keep the ball rolling. Down on the 27th in this area, also in Maryland, we'll be having the Grenada Cultural and Social Association will be having its dinner and dance. That's on the 22nd of February. And so we will be circulating the information and giving you the details so that you can give your audience. And we invite persons to get early tickets, so they can participate.
All right. Well, Ambassador, it was indeed a pleasure talking to you, and I just want to wish you a happy independence and enjoy the celebration. And, it comes from all of us here on Caribbeana.
So thank you very much, Vaughn. And again, happy independence to all our listeners who are Grenadians, friends of Grenada. And let me not leave, though, without taking the opportunity, Vaughn, to express on behalf of the government and people of Grenada solidarity with our United States hosts who host our diaspora in the face of the tragedies in the wildfires, Los Angeles and so, but also more so the recent two tragedies, aviation tragedies and the loss of lives. We are with you and you are with us. Our prayers have all those who would have suffered losses, and also the country United States. We are in solidarity with you in this very, very tough moment.
Thank you, Ambassador. I've been speaking with Ambassador Tarlie Francis, the permanent representative of Grenada and the ambassador to the United States. This is Vaughn Martin. Caribbeana continues.
Thank you very much, Vaughn.